share my screen. And we're broadcasting and we're live, and we've got Yarrow and Paul and Michelle and David, myself, and we are going to do Atlantic Scrum. And yes, Michelle and I were just discussing the way that this test should work, and we should probably be checking for a flash notice here. So I will go look at that after the hangout. Paul, do you want to go first with your updates? I guess really early in the morning, maybe you have no updates. I think Paul's mic might not be working. Oh, I can see.
He said he goes for a cafe.
In and out.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I didn't do too much yesterday. I started a new just throwaway project with Padrino, which is kind of like Sinatra with some Railsy stuff and just a different framework, and played around with that a little bit. That's it.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's interesting.
I'll get the link. You already got it, looks like. I'm holding my mic in with one hand right now.
Ah, okay. Let's. I'm not sure how you'd even spell Padrino.
Oh yeah, it's. I guess it means Godfather.
Ah, so it must be Italian Ruby web framework. I guess it's already done some good search engine optimization because they're the third link down. So Sinatra core, but with some extra stuff wrapped around it then.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you can get gems and things like that.
All right, great. So, Yarrow, do you want to go next?
I haven't done anything since the morning scrum.
Yeah,
I came into the hangout with John Engelbert and Amal. They were working on making changes to the event model in website 1. So I just sort of gave some advice on creating a migration, and that's about it really. And then hang out in your hangout for a while. That's it. But I tried to understand what was going on, but actually didn't get a clue.
I think we do the same.
I think we understood at the end what was going on. Yeah.
Well, actually, that's exactly why, when I first came to Agile Ventures, the first repo that I cloned was local support. And then I sort of played around with it a little bit, and then I asked people, so what do I do? Give me a task, make me do something. And they said, well, just hang around, just look what other people do. And then I joined Scrums a couple of times, looked what other people were doing for local support. Like, no idea what was going on. And I decided, okay, fine, I'll go for website 1 then.
Serendipity.
No, we know what we do, but we don't know how to do it, I think.
Yeah. Well, at the start of our session, it was the other way around. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to do. We tried to do something different. So anyway, we were able to delete a lot of code, which was quite satisfying because we realized we were making it more complicated than it needed to be. And we think we may be able to do 2 stories in one that we should never have separated in the planning in the first place, because it's much easier to design and test it where the organization controller has the same kind of authorization model, same way of doing authorization, same rules for authorization as the volunteer opportunities controller. So that's it's looking quite good now. We're able to delete some planned tests that we were we were going to make, and I think that gets us a lot closer to finishing off our spec. So yeah, making good progress. Anything to add to that, Michelle?
Yes, I'm not sure because I'm like Saint Thomas, you know, the man who believes only what he sees, and the woman who believes only what she sees.
Yeah.
At the moment, I've seen nothing in this way.
To prove that we can do it, yes,
I
because we
went
haven't run the application.
exactly. No, but
And-
I think maybe we are not writing exactly what we think we are writing.
Hmm.
Sure,
I
I'm
think
clear when
yes.
I say that, but I have this feeling, yes, you know, that we will see. I'm
Yes.
a good optimist woman, so that's not a problem. But I
All
have
right.
to see. I have to see what.
Is there time to ask the rest of the Hangout before we move on? How often you actually run the website between doing your TDD? Do you run it every time you write a new spec, or do you run it after you've got your feature turning green, or somewhere in between?
You mean the HTML, like the website itself?
Yes.
Yeah, actually fire up your browser and see what the website does. Yes.
It depends. If I'm editing the view,
Mm.
well, since I have two monitors, I have the website on the second monitor running all the time.
Yeah.
So when I edit the view, I sort of, in Vim, I just save after every
Yeah.
line I edit, and then I can see
What
all the
about we're
changes
working on the
instantly.
controller and the model? What about then? I mean, which changes the behavior of the application rather than how it looks?
All right. If it's controller model or specs, then I get it passing first, and then I look at the website. Unless I run into like drastic problems, nothing works, although I think it should be working, then I do check on the website what's going on.
Yeah. Yes. Because I think Michelle and I are starting to doubt that we've even written our feature correctly, and that we're making it difficult for the users or breaking it. Anyway, shall we pass on to, before we run out of time, shall we give John and then Marianne a chance to do updates?
Sure. This is John. I've been working this morning and a little bit yesterday afternoon also on a database migration for the events model. I'm working with Amal, who's new to the group, and so the idea is that we're taking the old event date and start time and merging them into one field, which will be the start date time. Oh, and also, it would be good if we could just do a quick vote on the user story because it's still in the icebox.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also removing the end time and replacing that with duration. So there won't be any question anymore about whether the end time came before the start time, which is part of another bug. And
Yeah.
It'll make the code cleaner in the long run. A few people have recommended it along the way.
Well, yeah, it's a
So-
good learning. Yes, just to have a single object that's called date time, when that's what we wanted all
Yeah, and
along.
it does. So this change will impact the event views and the event model and probably a bit of the controller too. So
Mhm.
it's pretty complex. It's well, we can vote on the pivotal tracker story. Let me
Yeah, let's
pull
do
that
that
up
in a
real
moment.
quick.
Yeah. Marianne?
Okay.
You mean me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. I didn't really do anything yesterday. I was not around, and the last I worked was with Paul, I guess, on the local support pull request for starting the edit page, which we finished.
Yeah, that's good. We want to borrow all of your styling and use it for volunteer opportunities.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be consistent. But let's see if they like it first, I guess.
All right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well, maybe we'll do it as a
I've
separate.
been thinking it would be good to have a good UX person to go to for advice. Marion, are you that person?
No.
No? Oh, okay. I just heard something about styling. I was thinking, oh, maybe this is your thing. Okay.
No, it was learn as you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thomas is really
You
good
should.
though, I think.
Yeah. Okay. We've got like a couple of minutes left, so let's find that story in Pivotal
Okay, I just
Tracker and then
pasted the link into the chat.
yeah.
I think, or let me actually open it up, make sure I'm in the right story. Sorry. Grab a different link.
I'll have to log into Tracker anyway.
Okay, here's a new link.
Wake up Tracker, sign in.
By the way, guys, for those of you who haven't been in the Scrum this morning, Nick has implemented a new feature. Well, he's done a spike on it. If you look at my screen now, I can demonstrate it quickly.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so the whole idea was about how Mercury is really tedious to use. So he implemented this TinyMC editor, which is like really simple, inline, in place. You can still edit in HTML. You can expand it here on the screen like this. You can expand it full screen like this, and then you can do editing, changing headings, inline blocks, whatever, and basically this is just simpler than Mercury, cleaner interface. But the main point is now, if we go to Agile Ventures website, we have projects landing pages. Like if I go to website 1, for example, which is like really poor. We have this text here, which is just plain text. It cannot be styled in any way, and even if I try to edit it, it sort of cuts out all the line breaks and everything else. Just puts it as plain text, and so as a result, we get something like, if I go to local support, for example, just a bunch of text like this, which is difficult to read and doesn't give a good impression of the project. So that was the whole idea of implementing this TinyMC editor. It's on his Heroku instance. I'll just post the link into the chat. So you can play around with it. And then it would be really helpful if you give some feedback and say, I like the editor. He will be submitting a pull request soon. So it would be nice if you play around with it and just, drop a couple of lines saying you like it or you don't like it.
Do you try to see when you change, for example, you edit the text, you save, and thereafter you change once again?
Yeah.
Is HTML good now? Because I've worked some years with this editor, and it was very good at first. The first time you edit, but the second time, the third time, especially if you put images or something like this in it, it becomes a bit like HTML from Internet Explorer.
Yeah, I see what you
ago,
mean. You mean the raw HTML behind it?
Yes, yes.
I'm not sure about TinyMCE, but although I've tried to use it this morning, and it has already looks better than Mercury, because Mercury, you're saying that TinyMCE is good the first couple of times, and then it becomes messy. Well, for Mercury, from the first time, it becomes messy.
Ah, okay.
So this is kind of an improvement, but this is what you get by using an HTML editor.
Yes,
that's why people have invented Markdown, and a lot of people like it.
Yes, Markdown is better, and it's not so complicated to study it.
The good thing about TinyMC, which is like you can click on clear formatting and just remove all the formatting there is. although it doesn't seem to work.
So, guys, Yarrow, at one point you had recommended to me to start putting new event ideas or new feature ideas into the feature request and design section on the website one under website one projects in the Agile Ventures website.
Well, personally, I think if the idea is very easy to understand, very easy to follow, and can be explained very concisely, then Pivotal Track is a good place for it, and then introduce to the Scrum.
Okay.
But if you want to present your idea and start a discussion on this idea and maybe show some lo-fis, then I think the best place is the feature requests and that section on website one, because we can all add comments there and we can have a discussion and decide on the best solution.
So to go back there for a second, I have been adding some sub-documents in there on some of the features, such as this event time and date problems. I don't think anyone actually visits there unless unless they're told about it. But
well, that's the thing.
It's the same for a lot of things. Yes, you need to tell people to go. You've posted something, whether you've posted a pull request or you've posted a changed a tracker story, or we need to tell each other to go have a look.
Sorry, David. I have actually created a story on Pivotal Tracker. I'm suggesting we create a feed of all the events that are happening on website one. So things like, article added, comment added, member joined, new document, things like that. That would go in one feed, and you can go to the website one section and see, all the new events that happened. And also, we could stream those events into Slack channel.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it would be a good idea if you announce things that you create on website one.
Okay. Well, this meeting's gone on a long time. I don't know if I should take any time to announce now, but there's stuff there.
All right. Great. We are. We're done our 15 minutes and we're past the Scrum part of the meeting, but if those that want to hang around, please do, and we can answer any of Chris's and Amal's questions. And before we do that, Paul, John, are you still available to lead us in voting on your story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you gave a bit of a description of the story before, and it kind of makes sense. I don't know enough to vote, not because you haven't described the story very well, it's that it's not very clear to me what parts of the well, it's a long time since I've worked with website one code.
I think Yarrow is very familiar with it. I'd be willing to take his lead on it since he knows the features and everything better.
Yeah, as to how many parts of the application might change. I'm a big fan of this going ahead, but it's not clear to me how. Okay, John, do you want to explain any more?
Oh, not. I don't know how to explain it more really. Yarrow, do you have any more to add to?
No, I think it's a very good description. That's it. We want to create an event that starts before midnight and runs till the next day, and we're not able to do that at the moment. That's it.
So do we need to vote on complexity, or is that what number of points?
I think so.
Yes,
okay.
I think so.
So go ahead and vote.
Okay. Sorry there. Happy fingers.
Yeah, we're going a bit too quick.
It's asynchronous.
Okay, we've got like a 50-50. John, sorry, Chris and Mal, I don't feel like you have to vote, but
okay,
you're welcome to. Unfortunately, we've already shown our hands to each other. But, okay, we've got kind of 50-50 threes and twos. John and I are kind of the minority. I guess I'll say why I thought it might be a 3. We kind of asked the minorities to speak first, not because we want to show up the minority, but just because it's less time to explain. But I was going to say that in terms of the migration, you really need 2 migrations, because you need to create the new date time, and then when you're all done, you need to throw away the old date and time columns. So it's quite a complicated step, and I think it's a step that we certainly didn't learn in the course, and those of us that have only experience of Rails is working on Agile Ventures projects. It's something fairly new to us. So really, because it's new, that's what makes it complex to me. Other than that, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of places in there. My gut instinct is that there'll only be a couple of places in the application that we need to change it, and if we'd done it before, it would definitely be less complex.
Are you okay with the 2, since that's the majority, or do we need to revote?
Or does someone want to speak for the other side? Yeah, rebuttal. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess I was thinking that it was going to be a 2 because I didn't realize that there was going to be a couple of migrations, and then also, they do have to do the date picker fix. I guess, is that part of this, or is that a separate? That could be separate, right?
That's yeah. We'll have to modify the view, but I don't think we need to do. That was actually the time picker, and. Is that in a separate one right now? I think that's separate right now, yeah.
Okay. So if it was just the 2 migrations, I would give it a 2. If it was going to take, more than, what would you say, 8 hours or something, I would give it 3.
Right. So I'm in minority here because I was somewhere between 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And that is because, yes, it is a migration, although it is only 1 migration. Or it can be split in 2, but I don't see any reasons for that. It's a migration and the test for that migration. Mm-hmm. By the way, John, I have posted a link into Website 1 channel for you, how to write a spec for that.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, well, I mean, it's the migration itself does a very simple thing. Adds 2 columns, copies some data, removes 2 columns. That's it, and it's very easy to test too. Yeah. And there's no UI involved. There's nothing else involved. So I would say 2.
Yeah. Presumably I'm sort of happy with a 2 now. Presumably the controllers pass date. Well, I don't know if they pass dates and times separately to the views, or if they're going to have to. All the views are going to have to start looking for the different fields, because we now have 3 or 4 views that display events.
Right. I think that needs to be emphasized, that it's not just a migration. Well, I don't think we can really check this in as just a migration, because a bunch of tests are going to fail. So it's much bigger than just a migration, right?
So if I think we've got this view here where we've got this one shows a time, and then although it's calculated differently, then if we go to the event itself, we've got the individual event view. So that's the second view that we've got to change. Not the view itself changes, but the data the model that it gets its data from changes.
Just kind of edit schedule. There's another page with dates and times. Yeah.
Were there existing bugs that you're going to try to address at the same time too, like figuring the time wrong or the date wrong for these things?
The only bug that will be fixed as part of this is the one that makes sure that the end time is after the start time. And the bug with that had to do with when the time went across the UTC midnight, it wouldn't allow them. And that'll just go away. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so there's this event schedule. So that's and these are the only views that we have live now. So there's just 3 views. So yeah, I could be persuaded to. And then we have the form. We have the edit forms. Yeah, I'm not convinced that it's as low as a 2 now. Should we vote again rather than do more horse trading?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We post our or type our votes into the chat, but don't hit return. I am sharing my screen though, so you are seeing my vote. Sorry, guys.
We could have
That's kind of
kind of
tricky.
guessed.
We're not looking.
You're not looking. All right. Yeah. Could be anything, right? Okay.
Yep.
I'll do 3, 2, 1, and vote.
Oh, it looks like twos went out.
Yeah. And it's only for planning purposes, is
Oh,
to
right.
make it whether it's high priority or not, and it's certainly high priority in John's mind, and high priority to anybody that lives in the Western time zones, because it's impossible to create an event to do any pairing over midnight UTC otherwise.
Yeah.
Any kind of social.
I'd like to share another observation. It's changes like this that are involve, I guess, refactoring and involve other code that's kind of going on at the same time. There's an issue with pull requests kind of lingering too long as pull requests. And I think what's going to happen, at least some of my other pull requests, is they're going to have to be refactored while they're still pull requests if this goes through before them. Or it just seems that with them lingering so long, it's creating problems for the workflow. Any comments on that? Or?
I think it's just, well, I think it's just the way it is. Sometimes, yes, you would have to refactor because some other changes have been introduced, but you know, it doesn't happen that often. I mean, if people work on separate stories, you know, it doesn't concern each other.
Yeah, this time it definitely does, though, doesn't it?
Sure. Well, I mean, nobody else is working on events model at the moment. I'm working with it, but to be honest, I don't care what happens to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Abstracted away from it.
Yeah, for me this has been a big problem because we had a pull request that's been outstanding for a while, and there was some refactoring, and then somebody else refactored the exact same things, even though that person had commented on the original pull request and therefore saw what was in it. They went and did kind of the same thing in a slightly different way, so it's just a big mess now.
And have either pull been integrated, or are they both sitting waiting to?
No, well, the other one's been pulled in. That's why this one is a mess.
Oh, right. Ouch.
So,
the thing is, you know, that's where the shorter is, the better.
Yeah, it seems to me that this model we have of fork and pull. There's a big echo. Somebody has speakers on too loud. What was I trying to say? Yes, this fork and pull model seems to work best when things are integrated quite quickly, and it's causing us problems.
It's a big problem. I mean, are we going to wait till Sam gets? Are we waiting till Sam gets back from Japan till anything gets pulled into local support? You know?
No. Yeah. Yeah. Well, local support is moving a lot more slowly than Website 1 at the moment. I don't think we have that problem, but I don't think Sam was planning to hold off on that. I think last summer he certainly worked plenty from Japan.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, and you have a much better chance of hooking up with him than we do because of the time zone difference between Japan and Europe.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
I mean, it's tough because you can either make a lot of dependent small pull requests, and then it seems like it's a kind of a pain for someone to associate them in a nice, neat chain, and then also it gives a chance for other people to sort of interfere in the middle. Or do you make one big pull request and then it's just like, 18 files changed?
Yeah.
Or
Sometimes
36 files.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a pull request ends up big anyway, just because there are failing tests in the meantime if you send up part of it. I guess that's a clue to the code not being terribly well factored, but I don't know. I mean, we've just got to keep getting better at engineering, but yeah, I guess we're not going to resolve this right now. But we're just flagging it up as an issue that we've got this. It's another backlog. It's not agile because in the sense that there's too much work in progress.
I think there's a discussion that Yarrow started.
Will go nuts. Pardon?
I think Yarrow started a discussion of this on the Agile Ventures website somewhere.
Yes.
Where So anyway, anyone who's there who has comments, if you haven't commented on Yarrow's page, I don't know the link, but it's on there somewhere.
All right, it's not in articles. It's in projects. Yeah, I'll post a link for that in a moment. That's it's a project workflow document.
Although I would like everybody to.
What does 13 mean? Does that mean 13 changes? Or 13? Oh, 13 sub-documents. Okay, so it's one of these. Which one is development flow?
Yeah, this sounds like a task for the Scrum Master. If it's impeding the majority of the people, the Scrum dude should do his thing.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it'll be along the lines of branches, maybe working on simultaneous branches and then managing pulls between branches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our project manager for website 1 is not here right now. That's
Sam?
Brian.
Oh, Brian.
No, it's
okay.
Brian. Yeah. So he's stand-in project manager. He's standing in for about 3 months, which has worked really well it's worked quite well up until now, and we've got this backlog right now where we've got. I mean, I can tell how long some of these have been sitting here. That's been sitting here 6 weeks. So if these things are coming in and they're kind of passing each other in the queue and they're sitting there a long time, then we need a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
If we have some long-running branches, shared branches that small groups working on that can coordinate, then maybe that would help, or maybe that would just lead to even more need to communicate.
I think in that model, when you have the multiple branches, you can have related projects working on a particular branch where they could the pulls within that branch would be much quicker and smoother, and the other branches similarly moving ahead, and then eventually branches will have to be merged at a set time.
Now I'm right here looking at
To be honest, I don't really see a problem. The flow, the flow we're having is basically the standard Git flow, which has been adopted by many. In GitHub, it's even simpler than that. But I think the key point is keep your pull request really short, so that it gets reviewed quickly. Get more people to review. Just ask people to come in and review your pull request, and get it through as quickly as possible. And that's it. The bigger the pull request is, the longer it stays there. Yes, you would have to change some things when you do rebasing. The bottom line, keep it short and get people to review it, and I think there'll be no problems.
So that's more advocacy on when you're doing your requests, your pull requests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Fine with that.
I mean, we have agreed several times that we will be helping. Well, with Sampriti, for example, we have agreed several times that we will be coming into people's pull requests, reviewing them to help Brian and to get them reviewed quicker. And that's actually but people just don't do it. People just dump it to the project manager and let him deal with it. And in the end, it's only Brian who deals with this whole thing, and he's responsible for for the outcome of that. And that's my argument. That's what I'm proposing, the changes in the flow. That if we had more people with privileges and responsibilities, like for example, some senior members who would be responsible for reviewing, just as Brian is, and can merge too, that would encourage their involvement, and that would encourage them to take a more active part in reviewing the changes and helping the pull request to go through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's bring that up to a vote as soon as we can, I guess. We're waiting for Thomas to get back, right? But I'd like that.
Yeah, that sounds like I like the idea of the advocacy. It helps increase participation and ownership and communication.
I think it should help. I mean, for example, I know that some pretty, would be a lot more involved in the code reviews if he could feel that, he has the responsibility for the outcome.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Yeah. Yes. I think the problem we have with asynchronous reviews at the moment is that there's comments left on GitHub, and it's not the way everybody works, but it's the way some of the reviewers work. They leave comments in the GitHub, and it's not clear to Brian, who's then kind of on his own, to say, well, are these comments blockers or not? So it's easier to merge an easier pull request with that has had more discussion, where there's some kind of consensus. But yes, to have a branch, whether we call it develop, where we decide collaboratively, whether it goes in. I'm not gonna be referee on that, because I don't even make my view on. I like it, but I'm not going to put my view forward because I don't work on website 1 much.
So if Brian or Thomas wasn't around and the group of us here decided that we wanted a feature, we could just pull it in?
We could pull it into develop, and what Yaro's suggesting is that it still wouldn't go to staging unless the project manager moved it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's we take a collaborative decision. Do we think this pull request should go to develop, and then we can pull it in, and then everybody gets the code. He can rebase against it, and he can carry on working further. Mm-hmm. But whether it gets to staging and whether it gets to production, that's still the responsibility of the project manager.
I have an idea. Do you know what we should do? We should pilot this idea, and rather than messing with Brian's develop tree, we just say Yaro creates a tree and we call it, I don't know, integration branch or something, or collaboration branch, and we merge as many pull requests in as we can agree on, and use that as kind of a and see how it works for collaboration.
I think that's a really good idea. But one way to look at it, though, is not what David just said, but the overall idea is that still the project manager is ultimately going to be responsible for the decision, and it just kind of pushes the problem further down the line. If we integrated a whole bunch of things and then he said, no, we don't want this, this, and this, then we're kind of still in the same situation.
But it won't hold up the workflow. If it's in develop and we can all pull from it, then it's good enough. I mean, it eliminates the bottleneck that I'm experiencing.
And then how do you get things out?
Well,
if everybody's building on it.
By the same pull requests. I mean, I mean, just the same, just as we do now. We submit a pull request against develop, and then if everything is fine, the same pull request gets submitted against the staging or production.
But Marian's saying that it's still up to one individual in the end. So
Right,
maybe,
and
are you suggesting that that could be done by multiple high level people, or any one of those high level people, or?
I wasn't really making a suggestion. I was just thinking of how it could just push problems to a different place in the
Yeah.
process. Like if we all did development against, say, one pull request that did some significant changes, and then it had to be pulled out of everything, maybe that's actually going to be more difficult.
Oh.
Yeah, but backing out changes is never that easy.
Well,
That'd be messy.
but the decision to pull in, to develop or to pull in is basically just exactly the same as Brian takes. It's just that decision can be made by more than just one person. But we would still have to be responsible about the code we merge, or whether it should go in or it shouldn't go in. That's the reasoning. We're still responsible for it. It's more than one person.
And it could be anybody, so like David and Paul and Michelle and I could decide that we wanted something and go ahead and pull it into develop, or you mean designating specific people?
I'm not. Well, there are different options, and I think that's the best to decide together. What's the best idea? I mean, we could have like a fully collaborative voting, so the majority wins, for example, or we could have like more senior members, whatever that means. For example, the first 5 people with the most commits or the most pull requests merged. That's a way to decide, basically, who that group is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think having more than one person would definitely be a good idea, especially since people get so busy and everyone's doing this on their free time. Yeah. And we also have a product owner who would be involved in the decision to pull things into production, right?
Well, he is the project manager, basically.
What
Well,
about like
actually,
Sam?
wait. Just beside that document, David, you were on that screen. Just beside that document on website, I have started another one, which is kind of in progress. Where is it? It's called roles something. Yeah, decision-making roles and responsibilities at the top. It's kind of in progress, but and it is in progress because I sat down and I couldn't really work out. Okay, so what kind of roles are we having in a project? Okay, we have a project manager, and who is that guy? What does he actually do? I was just trying to summarize here. So, by the way, please be welcome and add your comments here, add your ideas, what the possible roles could be. Yeah, those are the things I was writing there. What kind of decisions are we taking? Okay, we're taking decisions to move a story from Icebox to backlog, to start a feature, to set priorities. What other decisions are being made?
Okay. Good. Yeah. And what other roles have we got? Scrum Master, which is kind of rotating job for it 4 times a day, and then we have customer.
Yeah, isn't that Sam?
That's
Yeah, I forgot to add the customer.
But yeah, I wonder if the customer should be involved sooner in website 1, or why the feature has to go live for the customer to get before you have a customer meeting with Sam. Why can we not deliver something on another server before it goes live, or even before it's integrated?
Yeah, another thing, and another issue we're having on website one is that our customer Sam, he's accepting all the features on production, and that's why it's difficult for those features to get to production. And I think it would be easier if he was accepting them at staging, and that's what the whole idea of staging is about.
Yeah. And that way we see it working with, do we have a copy of production data on staging?
Yeah, well, at the
copy,
moment, staging and production are absolutely identical because we're not using staging for anything.
No, the code's the same, but the database, is there realistic data on staging?
I think so, yeah, I think so. Well, well, I don't know how long that was ago, but basically, yeah, we cloned the database from production and put it onto staging. So it does have some live data, but not maybe up to date.
Yeah. So are we any further forward? Have we got something that we can try that will get like I say, stop the same kind of or reduce the chances of the same kind of situation happening that has happened to Marion's code, where there was another pull request in much later that has it's very hard to merge back into her pull request. It's now blocked until they can fix that. Until Marion and whoever can fix that code.
I just, we just need to fix it, get it out of the way, and see how it goes further. Marion, do you need any? Do you want any help with that? With rebase that pull request?
Maybe. I just have been kind of busy.
Yeah, you can't necessarily have the same priorities as the website one people. Yeah.
Well, just let people know. Let me know if you do want to, and no problem. We'll just get it out of the way and get it merged.
Okay, thanks.
But we do have to still go through the whole process too.
Oh yeah. Sure.
I mean, I'm just thinking I'm not saying that we should respect the process. I'm just saying there's also all that other code in other pull requests, that could also be interfering.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Better get this out of the way quick. I just had one more test that was failing, and then Brian had some more comments that I have to now implement.
Oh, good. So the big mess has been turned into a much smaller one now.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic! That's good news. We should do kind of a pair hookup. I know we've had I found this a really useful discussion, not because we've fixed very much, but because I've got more of an understanding of kind of the issues that we've got to deal with working so far apart in different time zones. But shall we kind of see who's available for pairing now and what kind of projects you want to work on? If I go right to left on my screen, I'll say I'll start with me, and I'm thinking of wrapping up at the moment, but I do want to open a short hangout on local support because I think we're in the middle of Michelle and I were in the middle of editing some code, so I want to wrap that up and then pick it up early next week if we can. Yarrow?
I have about 40 minutes. I'm just cleaning up my pull request, but if anybody needs any help, I'll join his hangout and be around for 40 minutes.
Okay, good. Paul?
I was hoping to get on to the style edits with Marion unless it's totally done.
I think did we not do the pull request? I think it's pretty much done.
Okay.
Yeah, I should show that to you. I've just brought up Marion's staging server. It's pretty, I am pretty keen on how that's turned out. We've got Oh, why did that go narrow there? I don't know.
Hmm.
But
You broke it.
it's much. We had a load of wasted white space down the right-hand side. Before we started, we didn't have these nice curved boxes. We didn't have these instructions very clear. So it's all much nicer. And we've got a set of buttons, which is really important because
Well,
the tick box was so confusing to the users when we tested it with end users, or when Rachel tested it with end users.
and we had labels between the map and those text fields, which were kind of wasting a lot of space, I think.
Oh yeah, and people were forgetting to enter their email address. It was really it's quite surprising how difficult people find to fill in forms. And hopefully this
Was it?
easy
Do we have any
process.
form validation? On
No.
any of the projects? I'm just curious. Like, do we have something else where we're using a specific gem, maybe, or does anybody have good recommendations for? I mean, don't go Google right now, but if you have something that you really like for form validation.
For some reason,
All right, the HTML5 has got the built-in validation for URL, email, telephone. Yeah. So you can use that. All you have to do is just add validate to the form to the input tag.
cool. For some reason, all the validations were taken off of this page at some point. I know that there was a problem with geocoding the address, and it was holding things up. But you can enter a completely blank organization right now.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I thought we had a
I'm not sure why or when, but yeah, we should definitely look into that. I don't know if there's a tracker item open for it or not. There should be.
Right, that's something
HTML input? That's cool.
Right. Yeah, I don't have tracker open anymore at the moment.
Paul, you know what? We could work on changing that organization to S.
Oh yeah.
I think we can do it using.
Oh, you think yes? There's some spots there where it's not an S. You said, yeah.
We
Like
could
the
do
models.
it using yeah, everything. We could do it using
The models. Oh yeah.
We could do it in one line, Paul. One line.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's change it in all the strings.
Yes, and the test and the there's at least one place where it's wrong.
We could replace the the Z glyph with an S. Z's are banned from now on.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, that's funny. But yeah, we probably don't want to go and migrate the model and rename the model as well. But it'd be really nice.
No, we do. I think we do.
You do. I saw Sam put that up, but I thought he was joking. I hope he was joking.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Right.
We're gonna change everything to Z though. That's the right way to spell it.
Right. Yeah, that's the proper international way to spell it. Yes. With an S is if I'm right, or if I was told correctly, that's incorrect spelling in the United States.
It is incorrect in the United States.
Yeah. What's the word?
Organization.
Oh. You could. I don't know. I worked for a British company in the UK, in the US. They take both.
Oh yeah. That's fine. Yeah, and you'll find the British people, especially working in the States, are pretty tolerant with spelling. But
yeah, they are.
It's a really recent fashion to disapprove of the Z or the Z in words like. But anyway, there's a whole. It's like the difference between Vi and Emacs, or the difference. But I don't know. It's not important to real life.
Could we roll it into internationalization?
Yes. I think it's. I don't. Although we don't have a proprietary story for internationalization, I think we should. I think it might be kind of nice if some of these strings were in our internationalized strings, because we have at the moment yeah, we've got strings here where we've got some strings set as constants in English, and we also have yeah, we have our English strings where we have we have this string already set as a British spelling string with an S, but we're not using it everywhere.
What does that
This
do?
is that allows you to anywhere in your application you can write T, and then you'd write active record. Or I'm not quite sure how you'd write it. I forget how you'd write it, but something like active record models organization.
If you guys want to get out of here and work on the time, date time, don't let us keep you.
Yeah,
John
it sounds like
gone. All right.
fun listening to this debate. I think we've suddenly gone down a rabbit hole.
Before
Michelle?
I jump, I'm sorry.
Anything, Marion? We just talked about your plans with Paul. Yeah, Chris.
Yes. I've just been working on a very small story on website one for filtering and managing the list of revisions at the bottom of a document.
Mm-hmm.
And I got started on that with Yarrow, and he showed me how to get set up with Vagrant and some other things. And I paired last week with Jeff Thomas on one approach for doing this. And at the moment, I would just, I'm pretty sure I know the approach that I want to take. It's fairly simple, using the Twitter bootstrap that's on the page. And adding a little code to the document helper to filter out the repeated revisions.
Good.
And then just see about how to get things wrapped up and finished.
So when do you have plans to pair on that, or anything else coming up, or do you want to find a pair partner?
Yeah, no, that would be good to find a pair partner. Somebody. The thing is, I'm not real happy with the test at the moment, and I wanted to improve that a bit, and then, like I said, get it finished up. This is what I have so far. It just oh, no, it's not working again. Anyway, I don't.
By the way, Chris, about the documents revision collapse thing, I'm just posting a link into the group chat. I never realized when we started the story, but it was implemented in some places on website one, but not for the documents.
Oh, I see.
So if you go to that page, which is about, at the bottom you see revisions. You can click that, and it will open up and show the revisions list. Yeah, at the bottom there.
Oh, I see.
I'm not saying, well, it's only part of the story, because we talked about collapsing, well, hiding the revisions, but also cleaning up the revisions by having only one line per user, right?
Yes.
But to have a look at the visual style, you can have a look at in there on those static pages.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I had picked up this, the little character there that was used in the menu, and just added some styles so that Bootstrap added the proper class so that Bootstrap would collapse. And then the repeats have been filtered out of here.
Right. To be honest, I like your styling better than the one already in place in static pages.
Okay, well, maybe we would have to look at that as well then.
Yeah, maybe you two want to pair on that after this.
I have only 20 minutes left now.